Bring some joys. Alright, just do a quick channeling. So I gotta get up early tomorrow. Of course, she was sleeping. Of course, now she's up. Look who's here. And Fritzy's Cinderella sleeping somewhere. Alright, yeah, so it's strange encounters with UFOs and MIB. So I guess I connected to I connected to Men in Black. It's been a while, so I've tapped into them. It was better when she was sleeping. Well, and then connected to Lyran's energies. Keep it short today. I got day. I gotta get up an unreasonable hour. What am I doing here? Oops. Alright, so Avatar.com, propositions. I have a schedule which I have to fix eventually. And then we have the shop here. That's okay. Okay, I got Priscilla here messing around. Just had to sleep for like 10 more minutes. So, okay, all right. Blessings. Yeah, this is not going to be a long one. There's only so many things you can tap into. I've already done it for 9 years. Like, jeez. It's like, I don't think there's anything going on in the world, really. Same old, same old. As far as no, there's nothing going on. Not worth tapping into. So, all right, yeah, go over there. All right, okay. Oh, here she comes. All right, she's back. Okay. All right. Okay, go into Men in Black energies, get their point of view, and whatever else. Nothing's going on. The UFO stuff. Somebody's going to be landing their ships anytime soon. So on, so on. So, all right. Blessings. Here we go. Greetings to the Men in Black. There's always a presence here, of course. There are reptilian beings. Well, there are. Every being is always learning from humanity, but obviously there are entities here that see vulnerabilities within society and exploit them. Nordic beings is all type of. Well, this is how you learn, basically, right? Reptilian beings do this. They're like a lot of reptilian beings are like children, and they're learning how to sort of grow up in their own way. Well, when you come from societies that are, I think they're better than everybody. Some of them do, and so they do look down on humanity. But then again, a lot of times you outsmart them or you surprise them, so then they have a different take on humanity's frequency. Well, especially all the pressures, the challenges humanity goes through, is still a surprise by a lot of entities. Why did you put yourselves through all this? Well, it's like you're swimming in a pool. Might as well just dive deeper while you're at it, right? And a lot of people don't like change and rather go through more challenges. Of course, there's many that are going through karmic connections to their family line, even your grandparent lines. Even if you don't have any interaction with them, sometimes you're repairing what they could not repair, what they cannot do, or just enduring their children's children or whatever it might be. So, Usually there is some type of ties within your family line in some form or another. It might not always be the deepest, but doesn't mean you don't have some kind of connection somewhere. It could be here, it could be from somewhere else, but there is some kind of karmic connection at some level. It doesn't mean it has to be a negative connection, but it definitely there's a connection there. As for UFO beings appearing here, the White House lawn and all that, unlikely. Uh, they're too busy. They're too busy enjoying infiltrating society and screwing with it. Especially the politicians have sold themselves out so much. I don't know if you can call it humorous, but it is slightly humorous there. It is kind of sad, actually, how easy a lot of these politicians are just easy to break down and just be taken advantage, just like that. Usually by some kind of payoff. Of course, they'll never admit to it on a public stage. So, those are your biggest sellouts here. Musicians are sellouts, as you can see. Not all of them, but there's a lot of that going on. So, if there's a biggest sellout, I would say more musicians than it is politicians. At least the politicians try to break out of their screwed up idea, their screw up contract that they put in whenever they're drunk or whatever it was. A lot of musicians, not to mention names, but I think you have some idea. The top musicians currently, the ones that aren't singing exactly creativity anymore, well, they're just showing that mediocrity is, the beings here don't really care. This is mostly like a hypnotism music than it is anything else. Creativity has been removed for just hypnotic mind control. Doesn't mean it's always working, but it is kind of like an elevator music is copied constantly because they're not allowing creativity to be popular as it used to be. Because you had so many free thinking people that. And this shows also the vulnerabilities within the elite system. Well, it's taken to a whole new level of just they don't care what they do to society. And so this, to call it a form of disclosure of just how music has really lost its way. Not all of it. There's some creative energies, but it's not like how many humans are just putting up with it. They just like it anyway, even if like deep inside, like, why am I listening to this? Even if they listen to manipulative music, a lot of it is part of their own awakening. It might be a long, long awakening, maybe 10, 20 years, maybe even longer than or never. They're not, the hypnotic music is very normal, especially in the Greek time period. Mostly during the Greek Renaissance, kind of, but usually the Greek time period, there was definitely not one of the later periods for that. So, give you some insight there. As for the Men in Black frequencies, we're not that well known, not so much anymore, but we do come through dream states and we do cause some difficulties. There's light, dark ones, there's neutral. This is more of a neutral connection currently. Not that we're going to lay out our cards, but I think, your secret governments and all that, it's just not that important. But for us to come through is, there is a political agenda, you can say. Not that you're going to be able to unlock the agendas here are probably concrete or kind of set in motion. Maybe not fully, but there's meaning that the future is not ever really known. The universe, the spiritual, intervene. There's nothing concrete of where things are going to end up. Let's put it that way. So paranormal, interference can always occur. So it's just the way it is. Like your world's currently going through, like with this current government regime, it is a form of disclosure. I think so. You're aware of that. Doesn't mean it has to be a good disclosure. It was also to see how low they will go too, and the corruption in your current government systems. They can only go so far in darkness without destroying themselves. So they have to actually do something good every now and then. So it's kind of humorous to see that. It's like, we're doing these horrible things to people. It's like, you know what? Even we have our days when we have to just like back off. So there's a lot of that going on right now. So, why isn't the world in the immigration situation is not great? And you're never going to get the best answer for that because there's so many hidden agendas. It's a touchy subject. Well, it's yeah, we even can't go into that. So I'll just leave you with that. Blessings. Greetings with the Lyran consciousness, the felines. The human here is just, like I said, a next generation of the Lyran experience. Of course, you're the next generation of, yes, maybe through challenges, still a next generation of just spiritual awakening from a different level, a different angle, to go through challenges that not even the felines that you put up with. Well, there is challenges for sure, but to go through what your world is basically the human, avatar has been designed just to peek into just so many different, life challenges, soul contracts, to really go as low as you can without losing yourself. Of course, many do still lose themselves, but then again, do they truly lose themselves? Because this is, yes, you call it a game or a school or whatever, an institution, some might call it, or a world of why even bother with a world like this? It's necessary. It's basically created by a collective consciousness. Like, this world is finding a way. Now, it doesn't. It's basically, there's some vulnerabilities that have to be healed here. It's soul exploration too. You don't have to necessarily call this world a explore. That's an experiment. That's not always the best word, because it's scientist energy, and it's like, but it is exploring more of the soul itself, the soul experience. But doing so, obviously, there's been exploitation. It's been manipulated to submit, and it wasn't that, that holes were left there for it to occur. But that just shows that the armor of, but it does help improve. But of course, the vulnerabilities here have caused so much darkness here. It's hard to heal the wounds of this world at this point. I mean, it's hard to go, more to a positive reality. It's not as easy as it's not. Basically, the universe itself has to get, grow out of these challenges here. It doesn't need them anymore. And there's so many different beings coming here, and so much manipulations. Yeah, so this world's going to go on and on for some time from what we're seeing. It's not over yet. Yeah, it might get lighter in some level. It will go to a new phase of some form of awakening. Yes, but there's some of the challenges that will still persist in some form or another. Doesn't mean you have to go through it. But you're all here for a reason, to basically bring in this next phase of new thoughts, like a Renaissance type, spiritual Renaissance. And it's not as easy as it sounds. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of backlash, and many of you are already feeling it. A lot of corruption within the spiritual communities, of course, just like anything else. So if you look at it from a spiritual Renaissance energy, you feel like you're contributing just by just looking at reality differently on a spiritual level. As you can see, most of society is not asking for this, or can handle it or comprehend it. But you are kind of creating two worlds. Technically, it's already has existed, like the non-physical and the physical. But you're bringing more like a kind of Renaissance type of thinking, meaning you're bringing more of this type of thought pattern that's been lost. People don't really think about the non-physical that much. They just go to religion, just give away their power, just like that. So just bringing back what's been forgotten. And this is even during the Renaissance time period and before. But of course, now you have more of a communication connection. The internet here is just bringing your collective consciousness together. Yes, ups and downs to it. But basically, you are bringing, reality back into where non-physical becomes more known. And it's not perfect. As you know, there's a lot of corruption there, occult energies and so on. But at least it gives the non-physical, I guess you can call it a run for its money. Can you be more corrupt than us? I mean, the physical and non-physical kind of hit each other. They both hit their own lows, as you can see, but also hit the highs too. But there's a lot of lows between both of them. So it's like some competition between the two. Yes, the non-physical is not, as you know, with the Gnostics aren't exactly what enjoying being around the physical realms. We can say that's why it was created. Because the non-physical just actually can't stand the physical realms and all it has to go through, has to smell, has to this and that, and not all realms are like that. But it's like it's a kind of a karmic realm, the physical, kind of not well, meaning like something you don't like, and non-physical of what's going on with physicality, incarnate physicality, end up living it. So. So it's just another form of soul growth. Let's put it that way. Not everybody's going to agree on it. And of course, there's a lot of manipulations going into physical, like a lot of people beings so they don't belong here, or how do I even get here? And that's probably a mystery that you can always speculate why that is. But that is a touchy subject that can't always be mentioned here in public level, sometimes in a private to some level. But it's like a vacuum of manipulation, vacuuming souls to this world, pulling them in, and just pulling. It's like this world has a vacuum energy pulling in souls to like kick it, go into their vulnerabilities, and then suck them into an incarnation. So, and then the souls are going through it's like they can fight it, they can do whatever they want, or just allow it to occur and see what else they can learn from themselves. So just leave you with that.